The Chicago Bears have made some more roster moves, and we're here to break it down on today's show. Nathan Peterman back on the active roster. Certainly an interesting development we're going to discuss. Doug Kramer joins Teven Jenkins on injured reserve, and 4 new members of the Bears practice squad to break down all that and more coming up here on today's show. But guys, we're 10 days away. Bears, Packers, Soldier Field, FGB, FGB. FGB. Get it trending in the comments. Get it trending on social media. Let's go. Spam FGB for the next week and a half as the Bears look to take down the Packers at Soldier Field in week 1 of the 2023 NFL season. Let's talk about Nathan Peterman going to the 53-man roster. And I'm a bit surprised by this, but my immediate conclusion is that Peterman must have had some other options, right? Because I think the initial goal for the Bears likely would have been to bring back Peterman on the practice squad. But when that didn't happen on the initial practice squad signings yesterday, it did make me think, are other teams interested in bringing him on their active roster, or are there better practice squad opportunities out there? So it's possible that Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus had to just say, you know what, we need a third quarterback in here, which they both have said, yeah, backup quarterback is still in flux. So they've just opted to bring back Peterman onto the 53, and I certainly do get that thought process. And I do want to just kind of mention this as well. Both Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles, when asked the last couple of days, is Tyson Bagent locked in as your QB2? They both said we're still working through that. So I'm listing Peterman as the third quarterback. I still think Bagent earned the backup job, but let's just say the worst happens and Justin Fields gets hurt and he's going to miss a couple of weeks. If it's early in the year, it's possible Nathan Peterman would be the guy that would start. Now, if it's a game day situation and Bagent's the only one other quarterback active and Peterman's the emergency QB, that's a different situation. But I would not be surprised at all if they opted to go with the vet early on as the true number 2. I wouldn't do that, but I could understand that line of thinking, and I'm honestly fine with him being on the 53. You needed a third quarterback regardless. Might as well be someone that's been in your building for the last 2 years. Adam Schefter had the note here of Peterman to the 53. Trent Taylor signing is official as well, as is the Teven Jenkins and Doug Kramer move to IR. We'll talk a little bit more about Kramer in a second. We knew about Jenkins yesterday as Ryan Poles announced that transaction would happen. Of course, they're going to each miss 4 games. Do you like adding Peterman to the 53-man roster? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and I'll give you my final thoughts after this YouTube ad break. I understand it. You were going to have to get a third quarterback in here regardless. I think the perfect outcome would have been Peterman on the practice squad, but he kind of played well in the preseason. I thought he was better than P.J. Walker. So I'm lukewarm on him taking a 53-man roster spot, but you have to remember, too, with the new quarterback game day rules that even if Peterman or Bagent is inactive, if your top 2 quarterbacks in a disastrous scenario were to get hurt, that third quarterback can still be dressed and come into the game. So I think more teams are going to start carrying 3 on the 53 anyway. You've seen that this year with roster cutdowns with a lot of teams carrying 3. So not completely surprised or just, pissed off about it, but it's lukewarm. We are talking about Nathan Peterman after all. Okay, Doug Kramer to injured reserve. We thought this could be a possibility. He dinged up his hand in that final preseason game. He joins Teven Jenkins on IR and will miss at least 4 games. We'll take a look at what that means for the offensive line and the rest of the team in just a moment. But I want to tell you guys about our newest sponsor here at Bears Now. We've told you a little bit about them, Marine Layer. You can get 15% off their awesome clothing and gear at marinelayer.com/chat15. How many times have you felt out there that you are in between sizes? As a bigger guy like myself, I'm in between sizes quite a bit. Well, guess what? Marine Layer has in between sizes. You don't have to decide between medium and large. We want to get that size Marge out there. It's kind of like between lunch and dinner. There's not really a natural name for it, but at like 4 o'clock, sometimes you get hungry. That's kind of what Marine Layer offers, those in between sizes. Whether you're going on a date, the office, or keeping it casual while watching sports, Marine Layer has the best shirts for every occasion, and they're very, very soft. You're going to feel like you're petting your cat at your house. And I'm rocking this awesome shirt from Marine Layer right here. It is the Asher print sweater button down in blue geo. Very soft, very comfortable, and it's got some a little bit of thickness to it, so as temperatures start to cool down in the fall, it's going to be nice once autumn really rolls around. So go check this one out and all of their awesome gear from Marine Layer. I think we can all admit the perfect tee can be hard to find. Look no further than Marine Layer. For a limited time only, get 15% off with code CHAT15 at marinelayer.com. You can also just go to marinelayer.com/chat15. That promo code will be plugged in right there. It's code CHAT15 to get 15% off right now for your entire order at marinelayer.com. That link and promo code will be in the comments and in the description of this video. Go check them out. It is Marine Layer. Okay, Doug Kramer on injured reserve, so he's going to miss at least 4 games, as is Teven Jenkins, which means they'll be out for at least Green Bay, at Tampa, at Kansas City, and then Denver at home. Eligible to return on Thursday Night Football in Week 5 against the Washington Commanders. I wonder in Kramer's case, as he's kind of that last offensive lineman on that made the 53, if this could be a longer stash here, right? Like, it's not like you need Doug Kramer. You've got other options at the center position, and he's not really viewed as someone who can play guard. He is strictly a center. You still have 3 guys who can play center: Cody Whitehair, Lucas Patrick, Dan Feeney, who just came on board. Now, I think Patrick's going to play left guard for now, which is where he's played the last few years with Teven Jenkins on IR, but in a pinch, he can slide back over. He played center throughout the offseason and in training camp for the most part as well. Now, that's the question. Who is the Week 1 starting center? Is it Lucas Patrick? If so, type LP. Is it Dan Feeney, who's practiced for the first time yesterday? If so, type DF. Or if you still think it could be Cody Whitehair, I don't think it will be, but if you do, type CW. If you had to ask me right now, I would guess Lucas Patrick, but I would not be completely shocked if it's Dan Feeney. He could be someone who's more reliable due to Patrick's injury history. All right, guys, our August subscriber battle is coming to an end. It's the last day of the month, so this is your final chance to try and take down the Raiders Report. It has been an unbelievable battle with Mitchell Renz and the Raiders Report and ourselves here at Bears Now. We're less than 100 away. We can get there. Hit that subscribe button for daily coverage. We're going live later this afternoon. Let's try to get more subscribers for the entire month of August. If you want daily coverage on your Chicago Bears, we are the channel for you. Okay, let's talk about practice squad deals now. I want to focus a little more on one than the others. Deslin Alexandre from the Pitt Panthers. He was a UDFA this year, signed with the Jets, and did not make their roster. The Jets are pretty loaded on that defensive line. I was surprised he went undrafted, especially considering the Bears brought him into Halas Hall for a top 30 visit. And, sometimes you do that for guys who could be UDFAs to build that relationship and try to sign them afterwards. Obviously, they were not able to sign him after the draft. He ended up going to the Jets. But you look at his preseason stats, had a sack, had 5 pressures in just over 100 snaps, so he was able to get into the backfield a little bit there. You look at his collegiate career at Pitt, all this production coming in his final 4 seasons. He basically redshirted his freshman year. 131 tackles, did have 30 tackles for loss, 16.5 sacks, also 7 breakups at the line of scrimmage. You like guys who can recognize that, get their hands up, and swat the ball away. And I'm not surprised to see this practice squad addition because you look at his relative athletic score, Math Bomb, who give them the credit here, they throw these all together for different prospects, and a lot of green and yellow, right? That means well above average from athleticism. He has long arms. He's big at 6'3", 264. In a 4-3 scheme, he kind of fits that edge profile that you're looking for. Decent enough athlete, really good in the short yardage splits as well, which you like to have that quick get off from your defensive end. So good athletic profile, some college production, the measurables are there, so certainly worth a swing if you are the Chicago Bears. So he's on board. You also get Daniel Hardy, and Bill Murray is a Chicago Bear. I mean, listen, one of the best gifs on Twitter is the Bill Murray gif, and the real ones know. Unbelievable. I don't know if he's quite as good as the comedian, but this is certainly an awesome development. And then I actually like having a kicker on the practice squad nowadays too. John Parker Romo, you can try to develop him. We'll see what he can end up being. And these 4 guys join the current members of the practice squad, which were announced yesterday. Robert Burns, who had a good preseason. Simba Webster sticking around. He's kind of a backup return option. Stephen Carlson, Aviante Collins, and Roy Beteketa. I think that might have been it. We've been practicing. Bateka, there we go. I was close. I think I added an extra T in there. And then Travis Bell, Jalen Harris, Micah Baskerville, DeMarquise Gates, Greg Stroman Jr., Kendall Williamson. You're up to 15 players. Bears have an extra slot due to the International Pathway Program. So 2 open slots. You wonder if Terrell Lewis could get one of those. He was cut yesterday. We shall see. And we'll see about that other one. We were hoping Nathan Peterman, but he is on the active roster. I wonder if adding a different quarterback to the practice squad. Like, if Matt Corral can't find a home, bring him to the practice squad, man. Like, seriously. Like, he was a 3rd-round pick last year. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. All right, what say you? Who do you want to add to the practice squad next? Obviously, if Terrell Lewis clears waivers today, that's who I would like to see return. But beyond that, we'll wait and see who else is out there. If you have any names in mind, let us know. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. Oh, quick sidebar, by the way. Darius Fountain is signing with the Lions practice squad, so he's not a name to get back. I know the Fountain's not flowing in Chicago anymore. He's off to Detroit. So there he goes. We'll be live in a few hours. Oh, Fantasy Football Bears Now live draft. We're going live at 3 Central, draft at 4 Central. For those in the league today, let's go. And if not, we're going to have some fun. Join the party. We'll see you in a few hours.